let me introduce myself. So I'm Nicola Murphy. I've met most of you earlier on today. I am a senior engineering manager within GE Renewables. Kind of my actual official title at the moment is the head of product care for the HVDC PDG, which is a very big word. A lot of words and a very long title, but it means that I head up a department that focuses on the maintenance and upgrade of our product, which is within the HVDC control system. So HVDC we talked about earlier is high voltage direct current, and the brain of that and how we make the transition from AC to DC and then back again is carried out by the control system. So within my function, I have engineers from quite a lot of disciplines of from software engineering, firmware, hardware, PCB development and electronic engineers, and a whole other array of amazingly skill-setted people who work under me within there. But I'm also transitioning into a new role, which is the operations leader for a new office that we're opening in Berlin in Germany, where I will be, as part of my responsibilities, is building the office from nothing into a fully functional HVDC business, working with the teams that we have across the world already within HVDC. So in a few months' time, I will be moving to Berlin to transition into that role as well. That sits within the GE Vernova business inside GE Renewables, and one of the things that this slide's also presenting is part of what inspires me and what makes me so excited about the job that I have now and why I went into engineering. So some of the pictures on the screen you can see they're a little bit varied. So on the top right, you've got the HVDC offshore, and that's talking about what we do as a business and how we are helping with the energy transition, bringing more renewables into our grids and getting cleaner energy to all of our homes and businesses. And actually the yellow platform that's in the middle of that picture, although that's a bit of a model of it, I've stood on that in the middle of the North Sea, off the coast of Germany a couple of years ago when we integrated Dolphin 3 project, which is an offshore wind farm connection that powers over 1 million households in northern Germany. And it's the point in time where you think, okay, my job is cool. And we're doing all these amazing things. I'm also inspired by the people that I get to work with every single day. The two pictures at the bottom that you can see are with some of the teams that I work with across the world. So the one where we're looking a little bit worse for wear because we were caught in the rain on a day out, is the team that I work with, that I lead, that are based in Stafford. And then at the bottom of the picture is a team who I work with, who most of them are based in Noida in India. And we're stood on this site of one of our biggest projects that we've ever done. It's a 6,000 megawatt transmission project in India. I also get inspired by speaking to young people like yourselves and working in STEM events and seeing the next generation of young engineers coming up into the world that I get to be in every single day, and it's something that I absolutely love as part of my job, being involved in this and getting the inspiration from people like yourselves for what we should be doing, learning from you all of how we should be working on renewables, how we should be making everything more sustainable, clean energy, etc. And what you might not realize is how much you actually inspire the work we do as engineers already. So the next one talks about my career journey. So the academic part, I went to university. I studied electrical and electronic engineering, followed straight off by a master's in renewable energy and distributed generation, both at Heriot-Watt University in Edinburgh, which is in Scotland. I chose Triple E and then a more power systems based degree because that's where my passion was. I always wanted to be involved in renewables. I always wanted to learn more about how we bring wind farms into the grid, how we design the wind turbines that are on those wind farms. So it was my instant spark of reality. But actually, for a long time, I didn't want to be an engineer. My plan was to study history and become an archaeologist. And then I went to a STEM event, not too dissimilar from this, but it was in person. And I met two female engineers, and listening to them, their career journeys, and what kind of inspired them, it was like this kind of spark. And it made me realize that all of the things I liked about science, about technology, and about the world around me really led to a career in engineering. And it wasn't something that I'd had kind of even in my radar before that, because it was just something that wasn't really talked about. I don't have any engineers in my family or anything like that. But that moment was just the part that drove my career forward. After graduating from university, I joined GE. At the time, we were a company called Alstom Grid. We were purchased by GE back in 2015 as a graduate engineer. And I got to spend time going around different parts of our business, learning how the AC system side of our business worked, working in HVDC, spending some time in project management, and really building up not only a series of skill sets, but also an amazing network of people that I could go to continue to learn from and ask questions of when I wasn't quite sure of things. And that network I still use to this day to help out when I need things, and they will call the same favors and questions on me when they have stuff that they need information on. I then moved more into the HVDC business as a controls engineer, and then into controls hardware engineering more specifically, where I was designing the protection and control cubicles. So really the hardware behind the brain of the HVDC project. And I continued in that role for a few years, working on multiple projects around the world, which gave me an amazing opportunity to travel as well. So with work, I've spent over a year in Canada, about 18 months in India. I've spent time in Brazil, lots of time in Germany on projects there, Italy, France, and a fair few other countries, all with work. So not only do I get to travel, I get to work with amazing people in all of these countries as well, and learn about their technical journeys, their career journeys, but also their cultures, which is another thing that just excites me about my job so much. So a typical day in the life for me, kind of, now that I'm in a more leadership role, it's a lot of meetings and reviews and interfacing with customers, but they're technical, working on our design, strategizing how we're going to deliver our projects, and what kind of training and recruitment that we need to do to be able to achieve these amazing projects that we want to deliver to our customers. And with that, the kind of skill sets that I have to use are all around planning, communication skills, those interpersonal skills needed to build relationships up with not only the people who are working for me, but the people I work for, in terms of our management structure, but also all of the other engineers within our business, the technical directors, commercial people, but then our customers. We have to have good relationships with our customers as we're trying to deliver these projects. And then every single day is a school day, and you're always learning, but with that you're solving problems, you're working on how to deliver to our customers, how to fix an issue with our control system. So problem solving skills are something that as an engineer you use every single day. And then we go into presenting, coaching, mentoring, and really helping, particularly with coaching and mentoring, our next generations of engineers to come through. We have internship programs and graduate programs within our business, and we mentor these young people to rise up through the different positions within our business and become very highly technical, competent engineers for working for GE, hopefully for a long time as well.
Hi everyone, my name is Lorraine and I work for GE Renewable Energy for the onshore wind team. So that's the team that helps customers to build wind turbines on land. As well as doing that full time, I'm also a mum of 3 children. So as well as working full time at GE, I'm also a full-time mum as well at home. So kind of to talk about the kind of career journey for me, when I was at school, I was one of these kids who never knew what I wanted to do. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I chose subjects that I liked and that I thought I was good at. At university, I studied economics because I just liked the idea of understanding the economy and why things happened. And after study uni, had no idea what I wanted to do and went off traveling to Australia and Asia. And then when I finally ran out of money, I had to come back home and basically find a job, any job basically, that would offer me a role that I would get paid for. And then I was very lucky to stumble upon a job within EDF Energy, and that's kind of where I fell into the energy market. And that was where, as an analyst, where I was working in the back office, where traders would kind of buy and sell energy on the wholesale market, and I would analyze all the data and make sure all the information was all correct before our finance team kind of pays. And then I kind of stayed within EDF Energy for about 13 years, working in different jobs and different teams. I had lots of opportunity there. I kind of worked in risk management, in pricing, helping contracts to price the contracts. And then I found an area that I really liked and I thought I was good at, and that was kind of within commercial. So this is where it was customer focused. I liked talking to customers and understanding what they required. I like the numbers and the pricing, helping them to kind of price their contracts and structuring contracts and understanding what the different risk appetite is for our company and what we can and can't sign up to. And then eventually I moved over kind of to the public sector for the Cabinet Office, where I help with energy procurement and any kind of strategy work. So I was helping public sector like schools and hospitals to buy the best value energy and to help the public sector to save money so that they would have more money to spend on students and patients alike. And this is where I think my passion for energy and green energy grew, was just working within the energy industry and understanding the world around us. Obviously, recently there is a lot of focus on green energy and renewables. And this is where I wanted a job within kind of the wind industry. So this is where I fell into kind of GE Renewables. I wanted to help save the planet. I was interested that we didn't have to buy our energy, that we can build wind turbines and use the free natural resources that we have to hand, that we could produce our own energy and not having to pollute our environment. And that's what my career journey is. A quick day in the life of, for me, it's working on tenders and international projects. Again, like Nicola, working in different countries. That my team's in all across the world. We've got people in Spain and Romania and Germany. And it's to understand what the customer wants, how many wind turbines they want to build, where they want to build it, how much are they willing to spend. And it's working across a wide range of people with different backgrounds, with technical colleagues, engineers, finance team, risk team, and we put a proposal together and think of what is possible for them for that project. And obviously we agree a price as well for that project. If they like the price, then a lot of work goes into our contracts and a lot of contract negotiations. So this is our legal agreement to say what we will do and what we won't do. And as often these projects cost millions of pounds, we spend a lot of time negotiating and making sure that these legal agreements are correct. You know, even though I don't have a law qualification, I can still comment and change contracts. But obviously anything too tricky, we need to ask our qualified lawyers. So there's lots of meetings, lots of approvals, and making sure we don't agree to anything that's too risky for our company. I'll wrap it up on that, I think.
Thank you very much, Lorraine. So are there any questions for our two fantastic speakers? Two quite different jobs there. Some commonalities. I always like to know if both of you were 12 and 13 again, what one piece of advice would you like them to take away from you? What do you wish you knew then that you know now? So maybe Nicola, you could tell me what you think your piece of advice might be, and then I'll ask Lorraine the same question.
I would probably say it's that you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to always know all the answers. You don't have to be the ideal deliverer of everything that's going on around you. It's more, you have to be willing to learn and grow and adapt and ask sometimes a silly question. But it's that kind of subconscious thing of being able to be comfortable with that.
Lorraine, did you want to add anything, sorry, before I move on to the next question?
I think for me, it was just, don't worry if you don't know what you want to be or want to do when you're older. I was the same, and then it wasn't until probably in my 40s till I realised actually this is the area I like. So don't stress too much if you don't know what you want to do in life.
Yeah, and it sounds like you had such an interesting journey to get to that point as well, and you did some really varied things. So question, what's the most challenging aspect of your job? What would you say to that, Lorraine?
I think it's aligning everyone together to agree on a big kind of construction project, making sure that internally we all agree on the risks and it satisfies the customer's requirements, and pulling everything into the right direction so we can get the project together.
And what about you, Nicola? Thank you. Lorraine, what about you?
Honestly, I'd say mine is very similar. We work very internationally. We have a lot of different ways of approaching things, and it's just making sure that everyone eventually gets to the point where they're aligned on the common goal of delivering our projects.
Yeah, that's the thing about working for a really large company with customers in different countries and colleagues in different countries. And I work just in the UK, but that's definitely something that I spend quite a lot of time doing. How would you like renewable energy to develop in the future?
Obviously, if we can be less reliant on fossil fuel and more reliant on renewable energy, that would be great. But I think a lot of that, we need a lot of policy changes from the government, and a lot of government support in order to facilitate and enable that.
Great question. Agreed. Yeah, we've got to create the right environment, haven't we, around the world, with all the different stakeholders working together on these big issues, whether it's in energy or healthcare or other areas.